How do we practice this one-pointed awareness? And there are some requirements. Right? First, you need a minimum of 2 minutes at a time to practice this. Right? So not more than that in the beginning. You're going to need a candle with an open flame. The best type of candle to use are these tea light candles. And you need to be in a windless room. So we're going to have to turn the fans off just up when we start practicing. Otherwise the candles are the flame will start to waver. Right. So the technique basically is that we gaze steadily at this flame. Right. Ideal to have it slightly below your eye level so you're looking down or at your eye level. Don't have it above where you're trying to lift your head up and do that. The second is that you've got to then, as you gaze at the flame, you've got to allow your breathing to slow down gradually. Right. And then the rest of the technique is basically to hold the gaze steadily without blinking. Right. Now if you're doing it correctly, you can hold your gaze steadily at the flame without blinking. And what will then happen is you have to do that process of gazing steadily at the flame without blinking for 12 seconds. Magic number is 12 seconds. Okay? If you go up to 6 seconds and you blink, start again. It's a training in keeping the mind steady. You should have no other thoughts, no intellectualization of the process. It's just witnessing the flame. Now, as you get better and better at it, you go from one 12-second cycle into the next. Right? Roughly trying to get it steady for 2 minutes at a time. Right? So eventually, you can blink initially only 12 seconds, and then you can blink and then start again. Right? As you practice it, go 12 seconds, 12 seconds, 12 seconds, 12 seconds. Right? And that's going to be the training. So today, to get that process going, we're going to practice it together. So we've got some candles here, both on the male and female side. I want you to divide yourself into groups of 6 to sit in a circle. Put a plate down in the center and one candle, and we're going to light it yourself. So can we have the fans off first? And just divide yourself into groups of 6. So sit in a circle, 6 of you. Yeah.
When you're focusing on the light, it must be at your eye level, slightly below.
Preferably below.
It shouldn't be above.
Shouldn't be above. It's hard to do it when it's above. Your eye muscles will tire. So it's better if it's slightly down with the gaze.
So I'm asking whether the foot level is on the level. I'm doing 12 seconds, but I'm still not.
You can. It's not like you can't do it, but it does tire your neck. And let your breath gradually settle down. So take about half a minute and just let it settle down. Doesn't matter if you blink at this stage. You've got to get used to that gazing at the flame steadily. Okay, now close your eyes for a few seconds and open again. Okay, we're going to begin the process now, so you're going to gaze steadily, and in your mind you can then just count 12 seconds. The easiest way is to say 1001. If you in your mind mentally say 1001, that's roughly about 1 second. Right? So what we're going to do is, I'm going to basically do the count for you, and you then need to decide if you blinked in that time, start again. Right, so it's not so much about accurately getting the 12 seconds. What you want to do is to practice holding your gaze longer and longer. But getting to 12 seconds is the goal. Okay? All right, so let's start. And I'll give you a sense of when 12 seconds is up. Okay, let's begin. Okay, stop. Start again. Start again. Start again. How difficult or how easy was that?
Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Very difficult.
Yep. Okay. Ladies? Easy? Easy? Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into just cycles of practicing. You need to basically continue gazing. If you blink, just remember you're going to start again. You want to go longer and longer. Let's take the 12-second thing out of it. Just practice gazing steadily, right? So we're going to do this for 2 minutes, and I'll give you a sense when 2 minutes is up. So stop, take a rest, and then go back into the practice, right? So one thing you have to learn about this is that you can't rush it. It's going to take its time, depending on how restless your mind is. It takes a few days of practicing to get it into that habit, right? So I'm going to show you how to do it so that it becomes consistent. But at any given time, you will practice it for 2 minutes, stop, start, right? So the longer you can keep gazing at it without blinking, the more you're mastering that Ekagratham. Okay? All right, so let's restart. You restart the process, and you're going to go for a full 2 minutes, and I'll give you an idea as to when 2 minutes is up. Right? So don't worry about the time. Your work right now is to steadily gaze at the flame. Okay, let's begin. Okay, that's 2 minutes. Let's stop the process. Okay, so let's have some feedback about what happened there.
Blank.
Sorry.
No thoughts, just
No thoughts? Yeah.
still.
And did you manage to hold the gaze without blinking?
I did blink.
Did blink? Yeah.
I did blink.
How many times did you blink in that?
I think about 3.
3 times? That's pretty good.
The same as we felt more focused this occasion than the previous one.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else in the back? The last group? Yeah, go. Blink once. That's really good, right? 2 minutes to blink once, that's great. Ladies? Twice. Okay, that's good.
Maybe it's okay. I have around 15 minutes, but I saw a blue aura around the flame.
Yeah, like we said, don't worry about all of those things. The flame might dance, some of you are going to see Swami's image and all that, that's all your mind playing games, right? If you have thoughts around it, that's your mind still active. This thing has to be where the mind stops moving. That's the goal, okay? All right. Next group. Anything to feedback?
Just 2 minutes, but you find your breathing actually slows down.
Yeah, so the breathing noticeably slows down, right? That's your first sign that you're doing it correctly. The breathing will naturally slow down. And then you'll find that you get fewer and fewer thoughts. And eventually, as you practice, you're going to get no thoughts. It's just you, the flame, and this witnessing or observing process, right?
Seconds have around 9,
A lot quieter. Yeah, excellent. Okay, that group. Yeah, how many blinks?
3.
3. Okay, that's fine. Last group.
Yeah, I also blinked 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
The breathing is slow and the thoughts are getting lesser.
Right, so that's what we want. Breathing to get slower, thoughts to become lesser, right? So the flame is really just your rein, holding the mind in check, and you're allowing the mind to get into that habit of staying still, right? After a while, when you do it a few times, you will find that quietness, that silence, that not having thoughts is so appealing to your mind that it'll keep coming back to that. Nothing else is going to be as appealing to your mind, right? So you want to train and develop that experience, right? The more you can do it, the better it'll feel. Swami said that in the ancient days, the rishis used to practice this. And what they would do is they'd go out in the night and they would fix their gaze on a star. And they would hold their gaze there for 12 seconds at a time. They would go for like 5, 10 minutes, steady gaze. And it's what gave them that enormous power of focus. So all rishis had numerous mental abilities, all coming just from holding the mind steady. Right? So you want to harness that now. Automatically you're going to see the benefit in your day-to-day life. If you're doing this consistently, you cannot but notice that you're more focused, you have more concentration, your mental endurance is greater, you don't worry so much, you have more intensity in sadhana. If you're doing a mantra, it has more benefit and meaning to you. Right? All of that just coming from this wonderful habit. Right? So this is the training. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go into a process of doing 3 2-minute cycles. It'll be about 6 minutes. And let's see how that feels, holding that steadiness. It's a kind of a unique experience of allowing the mind to experience that steady silence for a prolonged period of time. Okay? So we'll set the timer. Remember when you're doing it, if you have an itch and you have to scratch. Try to deny the itch and scratch. It's not going to make any difference to you. So if you have to move, etc., do that. But get back to, the whole idea is the mind drifts away by something, some distraction, bodily or on the outside. Just bring it back, start again. Right? It's a training. You don't expect it to be perfect with it the first time you do it or in the first few weeks, but it's a gradual process of becoming steadier and steadier for prolonged periods or longer and longer periods. Okay? So let's start the process again. Let's begin. Okay, let's stop.
My eyes was burned up. Why would that happen?
Like tearing.
Yeah.
Now that's natural. If you stare like that for long enough, your eyes think that something is wrong and start to create tears to lubricate the eye. Nothing wrong.
It's fine.
Right.
I've been quite a few times in 6 months.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't get stressed out if you blink a lot in the beginning. It'll change from day to day until your habit is that you can hold that steadiness for at least 12 seconds at a time. Right? So that's the practice that we're going to engage. Now, to make the whole process a lot more comfortable and easier for you to hold that mind steady, Swami has given a mudra, it's called a posture. If you place the tip of your tongue at the back of your upper front two teeth, where the gum meets the teeth, just try that. Just place the tip of your tongue at that point. Right? And now close your eyes and watch what happens when you do that. Just put your awareness on where the tongue is touching your upper front two teeth, where the gum meets the teeth. Just gentle pressure in that front. Okay, so this is a mudra, and the moment you do that, within about 30 to 40 seconds, the mental activity begins to quieten down. So now if you combine that in the first half a minute or so, when you're getting ready to do this Ekagratham, put the tip of your tongue at the back of the upper front two teeth, and just gaze at the candle, the flame, and then continue by holding that posture whilst you're gazing at the flame. It will give you a greater ability to hold the mind steady on the flame. Right. Now I'm sure that some of you have noticed that every now and then the flame starts to waver.
Dance.
Yeah. And that is basically the currents in the room. If you're in a really comfortable windless room, the flame will be absolutely steady. Right? By virtue of how physics works, as the wax burns, the flame will start to move. And that is exactly how the mind is. It'll be steady for a few seconds and suddenly it'll start moving again. It's telling you that your mind is moving. That thing is feeding back to you that your mind is now moving. Okay? Don't get too caught up in it, just keep the gaze. Right, so we're going to do another 2 minutes now, this time with that posture. Tip of the tongue at the back of your upper front two teeth, gentle pressure, and then we're going to start the gaze. Okay, ready? Just get that posture right first. And steadily just gaze at the flame. Doesn't matter if you blink in this first half a minute or so. Okay, now start the gazing so that you can hold it for about 12 seconds at a time. Okay, let's stop the process. Okay, did you notice any change in how steady the mind was? Even if you did blink, that's fine. But you notice that your ability to keep the mind steady, fewer thoughts, is like enhanced.